Hello and welcome to this video on the topic of, are the Balkans Muslim friendly? In this video, we'll explore the Balkans region of Europe, known for its rich history and diverse cultures. Specifically, we'll be diving into the experience of Muslim travelers in the Balkans and whether or not it's a welcoming and accommodating place for them. As someone who has traveled to this region and has Muslim friends who have done the same, this topic is close to my heart. So, let's get started. Let's start with its history and culture. To understand the current state of the Balkans as it relates to Muslim friendliness, we need to take a look at its history and culture. Various cultures, religions, and empires have influenced the Balkans region over the centuries. The Balkans have experienced a rich mix of cultures and religions from the Ottoman Empire to the Austro-Hungarian Empire. One of the legacies of the Ottoman Empire in the Balkans is the significant Muslim population in the region. Countries like Albania, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Kosovo have sizable Muslim communities, while countries like North Macedonia and Montenegro also have significant Muslim minorities. In fact, Islam is the second largest religion in the region after Christianity. Despite this history, the Balkans has experienced tensions and conflicts between different ethnic and religious groups over the years. The Balkan Wars in the early 20th century, the breakup of Yugoslavia in the 1990s, and conflicts in Kosovo and Bosnia and Herzegovina are just a few examples. These conflicts have left deep scars and created divisions that still exist today. So, with this context in mind, what is it like for Muslim travelers in the Balkans today? Is the region welcoming and accommodating to Muslims? The answer, as with many things, is complicated. On the one hand, there are many examples of Muslim friendliness in the Balkans. For example, in countries like Bosnia, Herzegovina, and Kosovo, it's common to see mosques and other Islamic symbols in cities and towns. Halal food is also widely available in these countries, and there are even specialized halal restaurants and hotels. Furthermore, Muslims are often welcome in the Balkans and are treated with respect and hospitality. I've personally experienced this myself while traveling in the region, as have many of my Muslim friends. Locals have gone out of their way to help us find halal food or navigate unfamiliar cities. However, there are also examples of Islamophobia and discrimination in the Balkans. This is particularly true in countries like Serbia and Croatia, which nationalist and far-right movements have influenced in recent years. Anti-Muslim sentiment and hate speech are not uncommon in these countries, and there have been instances of violence against Muslims. Despite these challenges, many examples of Muslim friendliness in the Balkans are worth highlighting. Here are just a few. Gazi Huzrev Mosque in Sarajevo, Bosnia and Herzegovina. This beautiful mosque is one of the most iconic landmarks in Sarajevo and is named after Gazi Huzrev, a 16th century Ottoman governor. It's a popular destination for Muslim travelers and is known for its intricate architecture and stunning interior. Albania is known for its delicious cuisine. Plenty of halal options are available for Muslim travelers. From traditional Albanian dishes like frigis to international cuisine, you'll have no trouble finding tasty and halal meals in the Balkans. So here's what you must do to prepare for your Balkan travel. The first to prepare for is food. For Muslim travelers visiting the Balkans, food is one of the most important things to prepare. Halal food can be difficult to find in some parts of the region, especially in more rural areas, so planning and knowing where to look is important. One option is to look for restaurants that specifically advertise as halal. These are more likely to have a wider range of options and be more knowledgeable about halal food requirements. You can also ask locals for recommendations, as they may know of smaller restaurants or markets that cater to halal customers. Another option is to stick to vegetarian or seafood dishes. While these may not be strictly halal, they are often considered acceptable for Muslim travelers who cannot find halal meat. It's important to note that some vegetarian dishes may contain alcohol or other non-halal ingredients, so it's important to double-check with the restaurant or chef. Finally, Muslim travelers can also bring their food with them. This is particularly useful for those traveling to more remote areas or for those with specific dietary needs. Non-perishable items like granola bars, nuts, and dried fruit can be a lifesaver, and canned or packaged goods like soups or stews can be heated up easily with a portable stove. It's also important to note that while halal food may be more difficult to find in some parts of the Balkans, it's possible. Many restaurants and markets are happy to accommodate halal requests. With some planning and flexibility, Muslim travelers can enjoy the region's delicious cuisine without compromising their dietary requirements. The second is prayer facility. Another important consideration for Muslim travelers in the Balkans is prayer facilities. While the region does have a significant Muslim population, finding mosques or other prayer facilities can be challenging in some areas. Here are a few things to keep in mind. Research before you go. Before you travel to a new city or region, it's a good idea to research local mosques or prayer facilities in advance. This will give you an idea of where to go when you arrive and can help you plan your itinerary accordingly. You can also check out online resources like Halal Trip or the Islamic Finder to find mosques and prayer times in your destination. Pack a prayer rug. Packaging a small prayer rug or mat when you travel is always a good idea, as this will ensure that you have a clean and comfortable place to pray. Some hotels or hostels may provide prayer mats upon request, but it's always better to have your own, just in case. Be flexible. Finding a mosque or other prayer facility may be challenging, depending on where you are in the Balkans. In these cases, it's important to be flexible and creative in finding a place to pray. Consider praying in a park or other quiet outdoor area, or ask a local shop owner or restaurant if they have a private area that you can use. Respect local customs and traditions. When you find a mosque or other prayer facility, respecting local customs and traditions is important. This might mean removing your shoes before entering, dressing modestly, and following specific guidelines or prayer procedures, such as putting socks back on after performing ablution when praying in the main prayer hall. Consider the timing of your trip. Finally, it's worth considering the timing of your trip when it comes to prayer facilities. During Ramadan, for example, many mosques and other prayer facilities may have extended hours or special services, making it easier for Muslim travelers to find a place to pray. Similarly, during Eid al-Fitr or Eid al-Adha, there may be larger congregational prayers and celebrations that you can participate in. The third item to prepare for is washroom and ablution facility. Regarding washroom facilities, Muslim travelers, especially female travelers, may have specific requirements due to their religious practices. Here are a few things to keep in mind. Bring your supplies. In many parts of the Balkans, toilet paper is not always provided in public restrooms. As a Muslim traveler, you may also need to bring your supplies for cleansing after using the washroom, such as a small bottle of water or wet wipes. It's a good idea to pack these supplies in your carry-on luggage so that you have them on hand when you arrive. Look for Western-style toilets. In some parts of the Balkans, traditional squat toilets are still common. These can be difficult for Muslim travelers who are used to using Western-style toilets for ablution before prayer. Look for washrooms with Western-style toilets or carry a portable stool to assist with squatting if necessary. Check for cleanliness. Cleanliness is important in Islam, and it's important to ensure that washrooms are clean and hygienic before use. If a washroom is dirty or unkempt, it's better to look for another one or use your supplies for cleansing. Know the local customs. In some parts of the Balkans, toilet paper is not traditionally used, and people use water or other cleaning methods instead. It's important to be aware of local customs and to respect them when using washroom facilities. Plan. Finally, it's a good idea to plan when it comes to washroom facilities. For example, if you're traveling to a remote area or will be spending a long time on a bus or train, it may be more difficult to find clean and hygienic washrooms. In these cases, it's a good idea to bring your own supplies and to use them as needed. Pro tip: there may not be special facilities for ablution before prayers. So you may need to perform ablution in the toilet. In such cases, it may be prudent to bring along a pair of rubber flip-flops for you to use. When planning activities as a Muslim traveler in the Balkans, such as visiting historical, religious or tourist sites, remember a few things to ensure you can enjoy your trip while respecting your religious practices. Here are some things to consider. Check the dress code. In some areas of the Balkans, particularly in more conservative communities, there may be a dress code that visitors are expected to adhere to. As a Muslim traveler, it's important to dress modestly and cover your arms and legs. Consider bringing a headscarf or other covering for your hair if required. Be sure to research the dress code before you go and pack accordingly. Research halal food options. As we mentioned, finding halal food can be challenging in some areas of the Balkans. However, with some research, it's possible to find restaurants that offer halal options. You can check out online resources like Halal Trip or Zabiha to find halal restaurants in your destination. If you're staying in a hotel or hostel, consider asking the staff for recommendations and do read the food labels when you're in a buffet. Plan around prayer times. As a Muslim traveler, planning your activities around prayer times is important. Make sure to find out the local prayer times and plan your itinerary accordingly. You might also consider visiting mosques or other prayer facilities to learn more about the local Muslim community and connect with fellow Muslims. Be respectful of local customs and traditions. When participating in activities or visiting landmarks in the Balkans, respecting local customs and traditions is important. This might mean removing your shoes before entering a mosque or other religious site, dressing modestly, or avoiding certain activities or behaviors that may be seen as disrespectful, such as talking too loud. Consider the availability of prayer facilities. When planning activities, it's also important to consider the availability of prayer facilities. Finding a mosque or other prayer facility may be challenging in some areas of the Balkans. If this is the case, consider bringing a prayer rug or mat with you and finding a quiet outdoor area to pray. Be open to new experiences. Finally, as a Muslim traveler in the Balkans, it's important to be open to new experiences. While respecting your religious practices and customs is important, it's also a great opportunity to learn about new cultures and traditions. Don't be afraid to try new foods or participate in local activities, but always be mindful of your religious practices and values. In conclusion, traveling as a Muslim to the Balkans can be a unique and rewarding experience. However, it's important to be prepared and informed about the challenges that you might encounter, such as finding halal food, prayer facilities, and washroom facilities that meet your needs. Planning and respecting local customs and traditions ensures that your trip is enjoyable and fulfilling. If you have traveled to the Balkans as a Muslim, we would love to hear about your experience. Whether positive or negative, your feedback can be valuable for others planning their own trips. So, please leave a comment below and share your thoughts. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more travel tips and advice. Thank you for watching, and happy travels!